In this video, we'll look into error handling in VBA. I'll create a subroutine sub LST, and here we will say on error resume next, and we'll create an error here message box 2 by 0. Division by 0 is an error, so we are giving message box 2 by 0, and then we'll give a message box after the error Messagebox. This is after error. Now let us run this code. Run. So it has raised an error at message box 2 by 0, and it has displayed this after error message box. Suppose after error message box is not there, nothing will show up. So now let us just add this after error message box, but on error resume next, I'll comment this. Now let me run this. Now it is showing the actual error message box 2 by 0, that is division by 0. And then when I click OK, it is coming out of the subroutine. That is, it is not displaying after error because we have commented on error resume next. On error resume next will resume to the next line after it encounters an error. If on error resume next is not there, it won't move on to the next line after the error. After the error, it will show that error, that is, it has shown us this division by 0, and it will exit the subroutine. Now instead of on error resume next, we will declare it as on error go to some ERR. This ERR can be anything, some ABC, DEFs, anything. So here we'll declare that ERR. So here we'll give a message box advising the user that division by 0 is not allowed, or 0 in the denominator is not allowed. So if I just run this now, so it went to division by 0 is not allowed. So it encountered the error and it went to this, because on error we are saying go to ERR, went to ERR, showed this message and exited the subroutine. It didn't show this message box after error. So let us run it again and see. See, on error go to ERR. So when it encountered 2 by 0, it went to ERR and showed this division by 0 is not allowed, and then exited the subroutine. So this message box after error didn't show because it didn't resume the next line in case we have declared it as go to ERR. Now if we want to just resume next, in the ERR itself I can just say resume next. So now we'll see what happens, because after this error it will come to this ERR and display that denominator cannot be 0, or we can say that the denominator cannot be 0, or 0 is not allowed in the denominator, and it will resume next. The next will be message box after error, and then the next line will be this one. So this keeps repeating twice. So let us run this. So in the initial case it has encountered this 2 by 0 error, so the denominator cannot be 0, and then it has displayed after error because we are saying resume next, and then that resume next line will be message box denominator cannot be 0, so it has displayed that again, and then displayed again, and then it came out of the loop. Because of this resume next is after this line it is resuming to the next line and next line, and then it is exiting. Now suppose a different error arises after this first error. So let us declare a variable dim x as integer, and then we will assign a character to this. X is equal to a. So this should error out because we are trying to put a inside an integer variable. So when this errors out, we'll see what error where it will go to, because it is not the denominator cannot be 0. It is not this error. So let us see what will happen here. If I run this, so the first one is denominator cannot be 0, and then it has showed this after error message box, and then it again went to the denominator cannot be 0 because of this resume next. So it is for each and every line it is resuming next, and until it comes to the end of the routine it is showing. So but this error is a different error, so it shouldn't show it as denominator cannot be 0. So if that has to happen, then we should say on error go to 0 here. So now if we run this, so the first error 2 by 0 is denominator cannot be 0. Okay, then it has shown this message box after error, then it has encountered this x is equal to a, that is a type mismatch error. So because of this, on error go to 0, it has got back the original error handling, and it is showing it as type mismatch, and it exits the subroutine. It didn't enter this error error handler again the second time, because on error go to 0 is resuming the actual error handling of VBA. Now we'll see how to use resume. So here I'll declare dim d as integer and dim res as VB Messagebox result. And now here I will take a bookmark, and here I'll assign to this d put box, enter denominator. So the user can enter the denominator here, and in the message box will show mess box 2 by d, whatever the user has entered. We are dividing this with d. So and this remains same, and message box have to give this VB retry cancel and assign it to res variable which you have declared here as VB message box result variable, and if res is equal to VB retry, then resume bookmark. So this resume, if the user says retry, then this will go to the bookmark. This is the bookmark, and it will ask for the input again from the user. So let us run this. So now if I enter 0 now, okay, the denominator cannot be 0, okay, retry. Now I'll enter 2 here, okay, so 2 by 2 is 1, this message box is showing 1, and after error is showing this after error message box, and on error go to 0, x is equal to a, because x is an integer, we are trying to assign a, which is a character to this. So because of this on error go to 0, we got back the actual VBA error handling, and it is showing it as type mismatch, and okay, it came out of the subroutine. So here we have taken this VBA Messagebox result, this variable res, we have captured this user whether he wants to retry or cancel. So when he wanted to retry, then the input box is shown again, so that the user can enter the actual d value, which is not 0, and then it went to the on error go to 0, and then we got back the actual error, which is this is type mismatch, and it has exited the subroutine. Please like, share and subscribe to SQL BI Bytes channel.